Well, definitely I watched a documentary a couple of weeks ago, and it was on Dustin Martin. And I must say, for those of you who are not football supporters, and we were really big football supporters when our team was winning, but we're not so good now when our team's not so good.
Yeah.
So I'm not a real fan of Richmond or Dustin Martin, but I am a fan of him now. Watching that documentary, it'd be worthwhile. Nick Riewoldt interviewed him, and what I heard from Dustin Martin was not what I picture him as. And I said to you, and I think I said to your brother, there's something different about Richmond. There's something different about the way Dustin Martin is now as a human being. When he was younger, of course he was young and reasonably immature, like all young footballers are, and they're caught up in the team environment and the boys' club sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, looking from afar, you think, oh, you know, good footballer, but what else? But listening to that interview, there was a lot else to be likeable. He has been given a lot of help from other people who are really good influences in terms of the mindset. And it's a really underrated area that we feel it deserves more attention. And I just think what they're doing at Richmond Football Club is a great lesson, a great leader of how to get people on the same page and be process-driven rather than results-driven. And the motivation comes from ticking the boxes each day, and it reflects in triathlon or cycling or running. It doesn't matter what sport. You need to be process-driven and enjoy that process so that when you get the right outcome, you look back and go, oh, I made it. It's almost like a shock when you get to the result. And what was their result? 3 premierships in 4 years. And they're all on board. They're all on the same page. They're all planning together. They're all performing together. They're all preparing together. It's no different to what you would be doing as a triathlete aiming for your next event, your next half Ironman or Ironman, a cyclist going for the big A race.
Yep.
You've just got to have this part of your preparation equally as important as the physical side of your preparation. You've got to understand that it is a process. There are going to be highs and lows along that journey, and the person who can remain vigilant and consistent is going to get the best outcome. So process-driven for the outcome.
And you'd think that in a game like AFL football, being process-driven is going to be the least effective because there's just so many factors. There's 22 players on a team. You're playing 18 other teams in a comp. It's a team competition. It's not you versus the event. And really, 17 teams are losers throughout the year. Only one team is a winner, and that's the team that wins the grand final. And so it's so much about the result. And so how can process-driven be so good in such a team environment, and the fact that it works for them, they're so process driven that the result takes care of itself and they win 3 premierships in 4 years. And I hate, like you said, giving Richmond any props, but the fact is that's what they've done. And yeah, that process driven seems to be the key to it. And the fact is that if they can do that, then in an individual sport like triathlon or cycling time trial or even in cycling races, you can be process driven as well and have more chance of a successful result.
You have to be on board with the plan, don't you? Everybody has to be on board in a team environment. And if a few aren't, they either get left behind or get discarded. You can't carry passengers in a team event. As an individual sport, you have to be committed, but you also have to have your family members on board. So it's similar. Everybody has to be on the same page. If you've got someone working against you who's jealous that you're training so much or you're not giving them enough attention or your work's suffering, it won't work. It has to be all together for the process to get to the end result.